So in relation to leadership, the Pet Gun Dog does cover a very loose leadership program. The leadership is all about you. It's a leadership program for you rather than for your dog, and it's just a way of getting your dog to look to you as being the most important animal in the house and to show deference to you. So the important things are, and I'm going to go through them in the way that they are in the book, if that's okay. So crate training, fantastic. You can get your dog out of the way and relax without them mithering for attention. And the mithering for attention is a really big thing. If they come over and they're constantly hassling you for attention and you give it to them, then they're going to come back for more attention. So teach your dog to go on its bed, and put your dog on its bed when you don't want them to be hassling you, or teach them to settle down at your feet. And while you're doing that, make use of your crate so that your dog's not with you all the time. And so one of the key things for leadership is to teach your dog to be comfortable in his own skin. So pop your dog off on its own in its crate. Even a grown-up, a grown-up dog, so over 18 months really, and just have that distance from your dog so that they're not completely emotionally dependent on you. So then doors and doorways. So doors and doorways are really interesting. Once your dog gets, so when your dog's a puppy, it's all about keeping them safe, tucking them behind your leg as you're going out the door, making sure they don't rush through the doorways ahead of you. When they get a bit older, it can become a real competitive thing. The first dog out of the door will get to whatever it is that's it. So whether it's a toy or a cat or glass or the road and get hit by a car. And so doorways are about safety, but they're also about showing deference. So if you see a group of dogs coming in the doorway together, a couple of them might do a bit of argy-bargy, but they will actually step back and show deference to another dog. So that's really important as well, and it also is you demonstrating control and teaching your dog self-control around doorways. So it's so important from a safety perspective as well. Taking control of the food. So teaching your dog to sit and wait for its food through, again, the exercises in the Pet Gun Dog, where you go to put the food down and you keep picking it up until you can get the food on the floor without your dog moving. Absolutely key. And then when you first come in, don't feed into the dog's energy. So your dog might be jumping all over the place when you come in, and don't feed the energy. Just wait until the dog settles down and then calmly stroke the dog, or call the dog to you and calmly stroke them. And again, if you think about it, if you go into a room, if you go into a place and everybody's coming rushing over, or you're going rushing over to other people, then you're showing deference to them, whereas the person who you really want respect from will just be standing waiting potentially. So that's a way of looking at it. So one of the guys who was training with me likened it to an officer coming into a mess. He doesn't go up to everybody going, "Oh my God, I'm so pleased to see you. Oh, it's lovely, I can't, I'm so happy you're here." It would be the other way around. Everyone would be showing him deference. And so that's what you want from your dog as well. You want your dog not to jump all over you when you get in. These are all real leadership traits, self-confidence, self-assurance. Giving yourself some time out from your dog, again, really important. I also, when people come training with me, I also say no sofas, no furniture for 6 weeks. And again, it's just about taking all of the overexcitement away from your dog and just teaching the dog to be calm and settle down. And then if you want them on the settee after that, invite only, rather than allowing your dog to make all of the decisions. And that dirty word of dominance just means the person who controls the resources and is in charge of the group, which is the same as leadership. Leadership is about being in charge and looking after the welfare of the group. And so think of all of the things that you can do for your dog and make sure your dog's not making the decisions on any of them. So when you're walking, you choose the route, not the dog. Again, you're in charge of the resource. Make sure feeding time, you put the food down for the dog without being mobbed rather than the dog mobbing you. The other thing is you choose when the dog goes on its bed. The dog can go on its bed whenever it wants, but then if you say go on your bed, your dog's got to go on its bed. This is all in the Pet Good and Dog book anyway. But they're the kind of things that I do. And then you've got the other side of it as well, which is walk your dog every day, walk with somewhere new. If you can't do every day, or different routes. It's not necessarily going to a brand new place because we're in lockdown, but do a different route, instead of going clockwise, go anti-clockwise, because the smells will be different, because the wind direction will be different. Jumble it about, change where you let them off lead so that things are just a little bit different, and again, you're controlling what happens when you walk. Play with your dog every day. Put the toys away, you get them out, you instigate play, rather than your dog mithering for attention or dumping toys in your lap when you're trying to eat or when you're watching telly. So that's what I class as the leadership programme. It's about controlling all of the resources and interacting with your dog and providing really good leadership and good common sense animal husbandry, really. Don't give your dog too much attention all of the time, and you choose when you give attention, you choose when you share it, and when you're gonna sit on the floor with the dog rather than the dog jumping up on you all the time. I hope that makes sense, Vicky. But if your dog is spoiled, and you've said he's a bit bloody minded, the two generally go together. So I would pull back on spoiling them. Just remember, you can't reason with your dog, and it's a case of this is what you need to do and this is when you do it. Okay.